Thank you. End of Big Ten Media Day. Everybody ready to get out of here and get home? Guess not. Yep. It's great to be up here today on 2 feet and still be on the roster, year 44. And really looking forward to this season, anxious to get to camp. First of all, I'd like to thank Tony Petitti for his tremendous leadership in the Big Ten. He is a great leader navigating this conference through some difficult times and continuing to grow and build the brand. I'd like to also thank Pam Whitten and Scott Dolson, our president and athletic director, who have been behind us lock, stock, and barrel, committed 100%. You know, I formed a relationship with President Whitten and Scott in about 48 hours and had to make a decision on whether to take this job, but had such a strong feeling about both of them. We decided to make the move, and as everybody knows, nothing great happens without commitment from the top. So I'd also like to thank our fans who have grown and multiplied and turned out in record numbers for the college football playoff. We probably had 75% of the people out there for the Rose Bowl, about 95% for the Peach Bowl. And for the national championship on the opponent's home field, we probably had about 60% there. So we probably can't expand the stadium soon enough, but those kind of things take time. Thought we took some necessary steps forward last season in year 2. We beat 6 top 10 teams, beat the number 1 ranked team, number 2, number 3, number 8, and number 9. 6 top 10 wins. I think the Oregon game on the road was the first against a top 5 team on the road ever. We also had 5 fourth quarter wins, 4 on the road. When you look at Iowa, Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, and I don't know, maybe Miami was the other one. But it's a great conference. Got a lot of respect for the head coaches and the programs in this conference. There's great coaches top to bottom, and a lot of programs getting better. So I'm anxious to get to camp. We had a good spring, but when you play 16 games, you come out of a season like that, you have some postseason surgeries, you got some new portal guys that show up that had work done at their prior institution. So I'm really anxious to get the team together for the first time and develop them. I think we have a lot of nice pieces. I think we excel at development and creating the intangibles once we get closer to the season. As a staff, it's extremely beneficial. The staff continuity that I have had, that President Whitten and Scott Dolson make possible. All right, we're on the same page. They know the blueprint, the process, the plan, okay? And what it really does, to be honest with you, and we're always still trying to get better, we're trying to improve the way we do things, is those downtimes can really be downtimes for the coaches, which they like their quality of life with me, as I think the players do too, with the way we practice, okay? All I can say is, like going into this season, I know I'm going to get asked some questions. We're very process-driven. Our focus is on the things you have to do in the here and now to improve as much as possible. To improve as much as possible today. Those types of things. We don't talk about product, results. We don't talk about championships, playoffs, national championships, those sorts of things, okay? I'm a firm believer in our blueprint. Our Monday morning meeting will be very similar to what it was 8 years ago. It'll be about an hour long. There's certain things we'll do in there. There's certain things I'll say in a team meeting Tuesday night that I said 8 years ago. It's not word for word, but it's pretty damn close, okay? And the way we practice, pretty similar to what we did 8 years ago. So we have a way of doing things. We got guys that have been together, and all we do is win. And we have a good culture downstairs. I'm going to get asked about the JMU guys. All the guys that have been with us for 2 years that were at Indiana my first year, they're the JMU guys. Okay, we've had a lot of nice pieces in the portal. I think we got a chance to develop. But, you know, the season is not a sprint. It's a marathon. A marathon. And you got to be able to handle success, failure, stay relatively healthy, even though when you look at it last year, we lost our 2 defensive ends, right? Wyatt was playing great football, so was Daly, and we had guys step up, step in, and still be successful. So I'm really excited. I've been on vacation long enough. You know, I'm tired of being bossed around by my wife. I'm ready to boss somebody else around and develop a football team. And it's all about development. Okay, player development, team development, positional development, and developing the intangibles, the mindset, and the identity of your football team. Questions?
Coach, on your right side here, second row.
Hey, Coach. Dan Worthington from the Triple Option with Urban Meyer, Rob Stone, and Mark Ingram. We talked in Miami at the media days, and I brought up what drink you had after winning the Cotton Bowl, and you mentioned Hoosier beer. All right, so shifting to now, there's a lot of talk about sponsorship patches. So I wanted to pitch to you, since you don't have a ton of time. I want to get your thoughts on this patch for Indiana football, which is a Google logo and the word me.
Is it going to make us better?
But it might get you more,
interested.
It might get you more money. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, third row on your left side here.
Curt, Colin Wilson with the Action Network here. What is one similarity between Josh Hoover and Fernando Mendoza, and what's one difference between Josh Hoover and Fernando Mendoza?
They both played quarterback. They were both starting quarterbacks where they came from. Josh Hoover's won a lot of football games, thrown for a lot of yards, a lot of touchdown passes. He has an innate ability to play the position of quarterback, kind of a natural passer, very accurate, processes very quickly. I think, the things we'll ask him to do are different than the things TCU asked him to do. We're not going to put the ball in his hand and say, go out and win the game and outscore people. You know, we're going to give him a run game, a defense, and special teams, and every once in a while on third down, a punt's a positive play. Fernando Mendoza was a little taller, right? He may have had a little bit of a stronger arm, but he was probably more raw fundamentally and just playing the position of quarterback, still learning. The thing I'll say about Fernando only is from a preparation standpoint, he did everything within the realm of possibility to become the best he could be. And I think what separated Fernando was when the game was on the line, those fourth quarter wins, the last 3 minutes, 4 minutes, that's when he played his best football. He was a tremendous competitor. So I'm really anxious to see Josh and the progress he's made in practice starting on Wednesday in fall camp. All the one-year quarterbacks have followed the same line, and I expect him to as well. And I think this team's got a lot of nice pieces.
A fourth row on your right side.
Coach Sammy Jacobs from Hoosier Huddle. You say the standard's a standard and you have the blueprint, but what does it look like if you're a player in that room, how you hold each other accountable to that standard?
Well, I mean, that's culture, that's leadership, and that's where having guys that have been in the program, been successful, that have strong character or smart, helps. You know, I like to recruit good players that are smart and have strong character because you can do a lot with guys like that. And, I think part of the key to the drill is getting everybody to think alike. And that's where my messaging is important and upholding a standard and having accountability. But look, you got to have the right people in place. You got to have a process and people in place. And we have the right people in place, upstairs and downstairs. I feel very strongly about that. So I'll be stalking complacency. You know, I know that question's coming. But I like what I've seen so far.
Coach, on your left side here, fourth row.
Connor Gilley, Impact 88.9, Michigan State Student Radio. We talked earlier about the new transfers and the new guys getting acclimated to Indiana's culture and process. And a little bit was made about Nick Marsh's, former Spartan, coming into Indiana, maybe not getting it already. But has he become more acclimated, and how has the transfers at large been more in the Indiana process?
Yeah, I really like our transfer class. I think we did extremely well and under tough circumstances where we're playing deep into the playoffs. I think we filled some critical needs. I think Nick Marsh is a proven two-year player at wide receiver, been very productive. I think you're probably talking about the gold shoes the first day of practice. Maybe, we don't do that where I coach. all right? And he got the message, and he's been great. He's had a great summer, and I'm expecting big things from him. And I'm expecting all the transfers, really, when they step on the field in training camp, to be a lot better than they were in spring because it's their second time through it.
Coach, on your right side in the back in the red.
Kyle, Sports Report. Coach, what do you anticipate that this team this year is going to be a little bit different than last year and the year before? Anything special about this team that you anticipate?
Well, I mean, it's different people. So it's going to be a little bit of a different team, but it's going to be more same than different. I mean, all of our teams have been successful because they're more similar than different, right? We don't turn it over. We play smart. All three phases play off each other. We stop the run. We run the ball. We're good in the red area touchdown percentage, third and fourth down percentage. And those are things I want to continue to do. The faces just change a little bit. And the tweaks, probably the average fan doesn't notice the tweaks, to be honest with you, which were things that we do that we think will give our players the best chance schematically. But the schematic part of it is really overrated. Blocking, tackling, running, throwing, and catching is the key to the drill. So, we got to create the identity, the mindset, the relentlessness, the resiliency, and when we got 17 new transfers, which is about par for the course across college football right now, and further indoctrinate them into how we do things.
Coach, on your left side here, second row.
Good afternoon, Coach. Brock Morgan, Medill Reports. You talk a lot about culture, so how do you stay competitive as far as doing both in the day and age of NIL and the transfer portal, but also maintaining the culture from year to year, from team to team?
Well, the guys that earn NIL, let's say they earn a big number. They've earned that number. Nothing's given. Everything's earned, not given. So they've earned it based on their production. And if they're highly productive, that means they probably want to be a great player. Well, I've never known a great player that didn't want coached, right? And to be the very best you can be, sometimes you got to take a guy out of his comfort zone for him to improve as much as possible. So I don't know. Some people might call it old school, but we're very demanding to a standard, but everything we ask of our guys is reasonable and fair, and I think they view it that way too. I think they like the way we take care of them in terms of time on the field and banging and clanging and things like that. But look, what separated last year's team from the other really good teams I had was their day in, day out consistency. They stacked meetings, they stacked practices, they went into every game with the right mindset and respect for the challenge, and then they put it between the white lines and did the things that we emphasize. And you've heard my mantra before, okay? The consistency part. So if I have a guy that consistently cannot do his best, cannot be on time, cannot rub off positively on others, is uncoachable, he's not going to be in my program. Right? He's not going to be in my program. And the guys that are really productive, they get paid. They get paid. And so we've tried to adjust, improvise, and navigate those kind of unpredictable waters for the last few years, and I think we've done okay.
Coach, final question on your right side in the back.
Coach Nick Shepkowski from OnSI. You mentioned the grind in your opening statement. Iowa, Penn State, they'll kind of speak for themselves. The Oregon game last year, regular season game last year, speaks for themselves. Do you look at that grind? You've done it now twice, getting to the postseason. Is that grind of the Big Ten season a net positive by the time late December, January comes around, or a net negative for where the team is at?
No, I think that's a loaded question. I think your job as a head coach and the assistants is to equip your roster, make it as strong as possible with adequate depth at every position throughout the team. When you play that many games, you're going to get some guys dinged and injured. Things happen. Next man up mentality. The Big Ten is the best league in football, and a lot of really good football teams. It's hard to win on the road. Very physical football teams, very well coached. It definitely prepares you for the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. The numbers speak for themselves. I mean, we don't run a hype machine up here in the Midwest. We believe everything's earned, not given. And when we fall short, we say we fell short. We don't cry a river, whine, and complain. all right? And that's why we're the best.
Coach Cignetti, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.